So I had a request to do a video on just kind of what kind of equipment I use as a service dog handler. I have a guide dog, so there's some guide dog specific stuff that I'll talk about today, and also I just want to talk about in general what kind of things different service dogs would use, like for example mobility, leashes, I guess, different stuff like that. So I guess we'll start off with the guide dog equipment. This is a gentle leader, and basically it's kind of like a halter for a horse. It goes over the muzzle, and then it clips right behind the ears. And basically what this does is it allows me to better guide Truly, and when she has this on, she knows it's business time. Usually I only use this as a last resort if she's being too overly distracted or sniffing, or there's a really bad kind of dog distraction. But when she has this on, she doesn't mind it. It's comfortable, but she knows that she needs to get focused. And a lot of people seem to not understand that that does not hurt her. It's not a muzzle. And I guess that's because a lot of people around here don't have that experience with it as a training tool, so I'll do my best to educate. Okay, and this is a treat pouch. It has a little magnet on the inside. It's pretty roomy, and it goes around your waist, almost like a belt. And then at the school they gave us like a little carabiner to hook our leashes to, say like when we're at a checkout counter, for example. I can hook her leash and have both hands free to handle money and all that good stuff. This is a clicker. It's a very powerful tool. In fact, Truly's looking at me right now getting all excited. I use this to basically use positive reinforcement when I am trying to teach her new tasks. And I'll probably do a video on that later. For example, if I wanted to teach her in class, we did find the chair. And basically what we did is we used our hand for them to target. So they would touch our hand with their nose. We would do a click and then food reward and verbal praise. And basically you work your way up farther away from the chair and you say, Truly, find the chair. Truly, find the chair, etc., etc. Until you're able to put the harness on and they lead you right to the chair, where you would give them click and food reward. And it really doesn't take Truly long to learn that. She is extremely food motivated. She loves target training. This is Truly's collar. It's a martingale style. It's kind of like a choke collar, but not exactly. The fabric part helps so the metal part doesn't get too tight. And basically what this is used for is correction or leash cues. So what happens is her leash is hooked to the middle ring right here, and if I need to give her direction, I just slightly kind of give a pull. If I were to do a leash correction for when I've given her verbal warnings and try to regain her focus, what I'll do is just a quick, not really snatch, but pull. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but when the metal kind of pulls against the two outer rings, it makes a clicking sound, and that's how I know I'm using the correct amount of pressure for that pull. And on her collar, we have her name and her litter number. And then on the back of this, we have information for the guide dog school. Truly. And Truly's over there licking herself. Okay, the orange looking tag is her rabies information. She got her rabies shot in 2014. I believe that's good for 3 years in North Carolina. And then the last chip, well, last tag, couldn't think of the word there, is a plastic tag and tag, there we go, that basically has her microchip information. In case she ever does get lost, she has a microchip, so that's good. And if you're wondering about the paracord here, I just wanted to add a little bit more, I guess, colorfulness to her collar, because under the paracord part, it's the green and brown, and it's meant to blend in with their kind of their fur color. But, you know, I just wanted something a little bit more creative, a little bit more fun. And then this is her leash that was given to me by Guide Dogs for the Blind. It has it has 2 brass ends, and 2 O-rings. So basically, usually when she's working, it's at the half length. And then I actually hold it, if the harness is over here on this side, my hand is on the opposite side on the handle. And she has plenty of leash room, so she does not feel a pull. Because if she feels a pull, that's either a leash cue or it's a leash correction. So we don't want that constant pressure, because then she'll think, oh, well, I'm not doing right, so I don't have to listen. Then lastly, for me, we have the, I guess one of the bigger things, the harness. And Guide Dogs for the Blind, I believe, is the only one that uses this type of harness. A lot of other harnesses, from what I've been told, are really, really bulky, pretty heavy, and it just makes it hard for you to be comfortable and for your dog to be comfortable if you're in tight spaces a lot and stuff like that. So this is actually really, really lightweight. All this is leather. It has an adjustable strap, which I really shouldn't use because she's on such a strict diet right now. Well, she'll always be on a strict diet, but it's to keep them healthy. So if this starts to get too tight, I know something's up as far as her diet's concerned. And then for fastening, it just has a clip, just a regular old large plastic buckle. Then as you can see, it has reflective tape, and it has that on both sides. And then the cool part about these harnesses is that it's really easy to take off the handle. And basically, it has 2 pins on either side, and you press in and you pull your handle out. And what this allows you to do is to basically, say you're in public transportation and there is no seats available for people with disabilities, because usually in a bus you'll have, when you walk on, you'll have seats that kind of face out instead of seats that face forward. And basically that's for people with disabilities. Like I don't consider myself having a disability, I have a challenge. Anyway, those seats are to give people with wheelchairs more room, and it gives truly more room. Unfortunately, the bus I have to take to the hospital, it's a whole different story, but the bus I take to the hospital does not have decent handicap accessible seats. So I just take the harness off, and she's still pretty crowded, but it just makes it a much more comfortable ride for the both of us. And I'll just take my little sign off here to show you guys what the actual like harness that the sign looks like. So it has the Guide Dogs for the Blind logo, and this is also reflective. And honestly, you would be surprised at how many people say, oh, is that a service dog? And she has the leash, sometimes the head collar, and then always the harness. Like, really? Did the logo not give it away? Did the sign not give it away? But, you know, I try to be understanding and respectful. The handle itself is made of leather. It's really, really soft, and I'm not quite sure how mine got so dirty. And then this is a sign that I my dad actually ended up getting for me, because where I live, we don't have a lot of service dog teams. I personally have met only one team, and he actually didn't have his dog with him. There's some other issues going on that he actually talked to me about, but I got this on basically to help cut down on people asking to pet Truly, and there's a couple other incidents that made me think, well, this type of song would be really good for us, because it's bright, it's reflective, it has good contrast on the words, so hopefully that'll help cut down on some of the negative experiences that we've had, and I guess kind of help educate people. They say, oh, working guide dog, I wonder what that's about, and then hopefully they go home and check it out. Wishful thinking, I know. And I bought this. This was not given to me by the school. Everything else was pretty much given to me. The school also gave us a card with the Americans with Disabilities Act as it pertains to guide dogs. Well, service animals in general, really. But they gave us a copy of that. It's really nice. It has this thickly laminated, which is great. And they gave us each individual cards about our state laws. And basically we use these for educational purposes. And same thing with these little business cards. I can give these out to people that are interested in learning about service dogs, or really guide dogs. I can hand these out and give them to people, and they can check out on the website and stuff. Now, this card is a little bit different. This is me and Truly in San Rafael, California. This is taken before we graduated. And it's technically a certification, but honestly, I don't use it. I just love the picture, and I just keep it to show proof that, say, if a business owner comes up and says, did you graduate with that guide dog? I'm saying, yeah, look, I did. It's important to note that service dogs do not have to have any kind of registration, licensing, or anything like that. There are a lot of owner-trained dogs out there that are just as great, if not better sometimes, as program dogs. And program dogs are basically like dogs that come from a specific program. So like for guide dogs, there's Guiding Eyes, Guide Dogs of the Desert, Guide Dogs of the Blind, etc., etc. Some of the other gear that service dog teams can use include vests. And it's really up to the person whether they want to work their dog naked, as they say, without a vest, or they want to work their dog with a vest. By law, you don't have to use a vest with your service dog, but a lot of people do, because it really does decrease issues with access. And it's also important to note, there's no really, I guess, professional way for a service animal to look. You know, some people get really fun-looking, colorful, just amazing vests with different patches and stuff like that. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing in law that says, oh, well, this animal has to have this vest. Now, I did read something somewhere where different vest colors technically mean different things as far as what assistance they perform, but that's not usually the case. You know, like I said, they're free to choose whatever color vest they want. Some other things that service dogs and handlers may use are big mobility harnesses. Most of the time you'll see them, they're really large and rigid looking. I would suggest you check out Service Dog Brandy. It's another YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see kind of like what that harness is like compared to my guide dog harness. And basically the harness is built so it puts weight kind of at the dog's shoulder, so people can kind of take their arm and brace with that specific harness. And that's mainly used for mobility issues and stuff like that. And you have also other mobility harnesses where it's just kind of like either a rigid pull strap or like a nylon pull strap where people can hold on to it and they can use it to help pull their wheelchair. The dog will pull the wheelchair while they hold on to the handle, or they can use it to grab, so the dog can help aid in pulling them up, like from a sitting position. And that's also for mobility issues. Some dogs may use kind of like my grandma loves this, saddlebags. Depending on what kind of setup they got going on, whether it be, say I had other medical issues such as diabetes, and I had to have the harness, but I also would need, I guess, kind of saddlebags to help store medical alert information, or I don't know, maybe EpiPens or insulin, stuff like that. I could have the harness on, but I also could have kind of like a vest of some sort that goes either kind of behind in this general area of the dog, or kind of, I haven't seen it, but I imagine you can do it kind of back towards the hips. But usually from what I've seen, I personally haven't really seen too many people use the saddlebag and the harness together, but I'm sure people do. Truly also has booties, and man, it's hilarious. People don't understand that the booties do actually have a purpose, and we use those for escalators when it's excessively hot, which it does get in North Carolina, so she doesn't burn her cute little paws, or when it's excessively cold and they have treated the roads and stuff like that. Because what happens is when they treat the roads, brine and salt and sand can get in their paws, and that stuff naturally lowers the freezing temperature of water. So it's kind of like, I guess, the ice challenge, where you put salt in your hand, then you put an ice cube and you hold it there and see how long you can hold it there. It's the same thing that happens to a dog, except they're not going to do that on purpose. And so that's kind of like the rundown of the booties. As far as escalators are concerned, what happens there is a lot of dogs sometimes forget to pick up their two back feet when they're exiting an escalator, and that can be a potentially hazardous situation. Their paws could get caught between the actual floor area and where the teeth go under, which can mess up their paws pretty bad, and it can be really, really traumatizing. As far as I know, that's pretty much the general rundown of service dog equipment. I forgot to mention that there are different types of leashes. There's little, like mine is just a general leash that I can hold in my hand, that I can use to either hold in my hand. It also clips off and makes a hand, like a handle, for when we're doing obedience training, or for relieving, stuff like that. So it makes just a longer leash, but I still have a handle. There are some leashes that are full body leashes, which I actually made one for a friend who is going through some health issues right now, and she couldn't afford one. She really, really wanted one, so I kind of made her one. I feel like I had to. She helped me out with some stuff, so I was going to return the favor. So, like I said, there were leashes that attach to your arm. A service dog, Brandy, actually has one. You'll see it in a couple of her videos if you check it out. And sorry, she really got me distracted. And they're also shorter and longer leashes, you know, for different sizes of dogs and depending on what they're using them to work for. Oh yeah, also there's like kind of a wheelchair leash. It's a lot shorter. It has a point that attaches to the wheelchair, to like the leg of the wheelchair, and then it has a shorter lead which attaches to the service dog's collar, and that can kind of aid in pulling, or it can allow the handler to have both hands free to aid in pushing their wheelchair. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as I know, and as far as what I can think of right now. As always, you can leave comments, suggestions, critiques, criticisms, everything in the comments. And I appreciate you guys watching.